Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's lesson is about word, phrase, and clause. What do I mean by word? Word is a single unit of language, or other people say that word is a group of letters that has meaning. For example, bake, baking, to, for, slow, slowly, and many else. Word is a single unit of language. What about phrase? Phrase is a group of words that has no subject and verb component. It can be two or more words. The point is, a phrase doesn't have subject and verb component. There are so many types of phrases. Let's discuss one by one. The first is noun phrase. Noun phrase is a phrase or a group of words that the headed is noun. For example, if you found the group of words, the phrase like this, a cute boy, the first thing you have to find which one is the headed noun, a, cute, or the word boy. Okay, so in this phrase, a cute boy, the head noun is boy. So the words a and cute modifies the noun, modifies the word boy. A here article and then cute is an adjective. So noun phrase, the function is to modify the noun, to modify the head noun. These two words, a, cute, modifies the noun, modifies the word boy. That's noun phrase. Number two is prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase is phrase or a group of words that has a preposition there. For example, for them. This is prepositional phrase. For them. For is preposition and then them is pronoun. It's not only for a pronoun, but we can also use noun. But the thing is, prepositional phrase is using preposition. And to know better, to identify whether the group of words is prepositional phrase or not, we can use asking for the first by using the word what and then whom. For example, when you see a group of words and there is for, so we can say it aloud the preposition and then we give addition by using the word whom or what. For example, I want to analyze for them, is it prepositional phrase or not? So I just read the preposition aloud and then I give question what or whom. For what? And then the answer is for them. So it doesn't make sense. I'm asking for what and then the answer is for them. It doesn't make sense. So we don't have to use what. Number two is we use whom. When I say for whom and then the answer is for them, and it makes sense. So the words for them, the group of words, the phrase for them is prepositional phrase. Next is adjective phrase. It's not like a noun phrase. Noun phrase we just underline the headed noun, but if adjective phrase we see the phrase or group of words and then we underline the headed adjective. Focus on the adjective. For example, big blue bench. The adjective phrase is only in a blue color, big blue only, without a bench, big blue bench, because the adjective big blue modifies the bench. So big blue is an adjective phrase. Number 4 is adverb phrase. The function of adverb phrase is just like an adverb. It's like the function of adverb, and we know that the function of adverb is modifying the verb. So when you see the sentence like this, he ran very fast, so the adverb phrase is only the blue one, very fast, because the words, the phrase very fast is modifying the verb run. Or to identify whether the phrase is adverbial phrase or adverb phrase or not, we can use WH question. For example, we can use how, and then I try to ask, and then the answer is this example. For example, how does he run? And then the answer is he ran very fast, and that makes sense. So very fast is the adverb phrase. Next is verb phrase. Verb itself is expresses the action thing, or state something. And in a verb phrase, we have to use at least one helping verb and then followed by a verb. The helping verb, there are so many kinds. Be verb is, am, are, and then be verb in past tense, was, were, and then all modal verbs just like may, can, could, might, shall, should. That's all modal verbs, and to be verb is called helping verb. So for making verb phrase, at least we use one helping verb followed by other verb. For example, he is talking to me. The verb phrase is the blue one, is talking. We have a helping verb is, and then followed by talking. The verb is, the base form of the verb is talk, and then followed by and then join them together with ing form, talking. So the verb phrase is talking. From the sentence he is talking to me, the verb phrase is talking. At least one helping verb to make verb phrase. Next is number 6, infinitive phrase. Infinitive is to, and then followed by other complement, that's called infinitive phrase. For example, to bring books. That's all infinitive phrase. Infinitive to, and then followed by other words. To bring books is infinitive phrase. And then the last is gerund phrase. First of all, gerund is a verb, and then we give addition with ing form, so that verb is going to be noun. For example, swim. Swim is a verb, but when I put ing form at the end of the word swim, becomes swimming, so swimming going to be noun. So the class of words was changing. Verb becomes noun because of additional ing form. That's called gerund. So gerund phrase is a phrase that use gerund in it. Teaching in a good way. Teaching in a good way. This is gerund phrase. But remember, when you see the sentence, teaching is my job. Teaching is my job. That's not gerund phrase, because after the word teaching is to be verb. That's not phrase, that's sentence. Okay, so in number 7, gerund phrase, the example is teaching in a good way. This is phrase, this is not clause. After gerund followed by other words, but not to be verb or not other verb. Okay. Next is clause. Clause is a group of words that have subject and verb component. So this is the opposite of phrase. Phrases doesn't have subject and verb, but clause, when you see a group of words and then you find subject and a verb, that's clause. For example, they run. They subject, run, verb. This is clause. You bake the cake. You subject, bake, verb, and followed by other words. We call them complement or object. So you bake the cake is clause. We go to picnic. Subject is we. Go means verb. So we go to picnic is clause. If you pass the test. If you pass the test, you see the conjunction if, and then you pass the test. You is subject. Pass means verb. So if you pass the test is a clause. After I go home, where is the subject and verb? Yes, that's right. The subject is I, and then the verb is go. Before I start the game, where is the subject? Good, the subject is I, and then the verb is, yes, the verb is start. Okay, there are so many types of clauses, but today I just try to we discuss together about the position of clause in a sentence. There are two main clauses. There are two kinds of clauses: independent clause and dependent clause. Independent clause is the clause that can stand alone as a sentence. So they don't need other information, they don't need other additional information, they just stay alone. Is independent clause. For example, they run. We don't need any additional information after the word run. It's enough. They run, full stop. Enough. It can stand alone as a sentence, and it independent. So they run is independent clause. Also, independent clause is called simple sentence. Simple sentence consists of one independent clause. So they run is independent clause because it can stand alone as a sentence. We go to picnic. Simple sentence or independent clause. You bake the cake. Independent clause. You bake the cake. We don't need any other information. Next is dependent clause. Dependent clause is depend on other information from independent clause. Dependent clause cannot stand alone. Why? Because dependent clause, when they stand alone, so it's weird and it doesn't make sense. The clause doesn't make sense at all. For example, number 1, before I start the game. the first letter is conjunction. Of course, we need other information before the word conjunction. Sorry, before the word before. So before conjunction, we have any additional information. So how to fix it? So we join them together. We join independent clause and dependent clause. They run before I start the game. Dependent clause, independent clause is they run, and then dependent clause is before I start the game. So because there is one independent clause and then one dependent clause, we join them together, so that is complex sentence. Number 2, if you pass the test, it cannot stand alone. If you pass the test, so it needs other information. We join them together, so the sentence becomes we go to picnic if you pass the test. Complex sentence, one independent clause and then one dependent clause. It connected by the conjunction if. Number 1, connected by the conjunction before. Next is after I go home. Also we have conjunction after, so we need other information. We join independent clause and dependent clause together, becomes you bake the cake after I go home, so it makes sense. And also independent clause, some people say this is main clause, and then dependent clause they say subordinate clause. Next is quiz. For you, please do the quiz, analyze. Maybe you find a clause, so you just type what type of clause. Maybe you just analyze this, and then you found phrase, so what type of phrase, for make it clear. Number 1 is I will study hard. I will study hard. What is this? Is it a phrase? Is it a clause? Yes, this is clause. This is independent clause because it can stand alone as a sentence. We doesn't need other information. Number 2, although you lend me a book. There is conjunction although, so we need other information. So what is this? Although you lend me a book. Good. Although you lend me a book is dependent clause because it depends on the information from independent clause. Next, number 3 is a beautiful girl. A beautiful girl. There is an article ill and then beautiful adjective, and then girl is noun. Yes, noun phrase, because the words a and beautiful modifies the word girl, modifies the noun. To buy some food. Number 4, to buy some food. There is infinitive to at the front, so it is infinitive phrase. Okay. Next, number 5, the children are singing. The phrase is only in a blue. Are singing. We have helping verbs are followed by other verbal, so this is verb phrase. Yes. Next, for the children, number 6, there is for. For is preposition for, so number 6 is prepositional phrase. Good. Next, number 7, he walks really slow. He walks really slow. The word, the phrase, the blue one, really slow, modifies the verbs, the verb walks, so it is, yes, adverb phrase. Number 8, I go. Does it can stand alone or not? I go. Yes, so this is independent clause. Next, number 9, dancing in the dark. Dancing in the dark. There is a dance plus ing becomes dancing, so it's gerund phrase. Yes. I buy some food before you ask. There is I buy some food before you ask. We have conjunction before in the middle of two clauses, so it's, yes, complex sentence. One independent clause, that is I buy some food, and then one dependent clause before you ask. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you understand about word, phrase, and clause. Thank you so much. Bye.